Coffee rehabilitation changes local coffee growers' lives. Local businesses win big as thousands of runners compete at Dili International Marathon 2026. Hello, welcome back to RTTL World News. I'm Zeri Madeira. Coffee is the country's largest agricultural export and its top revenue generator after oil and gas. However, most Timorese coffee plantations are more than 40 years old. In 2022, the Timorese government started coffee tree rehabilitation projects. As this year's harvest comes to an end, RTTL World News reporter Paulina Quintão traveled to Aileu municipality to examine how the project is impacting local coffee growers.
A busy morning for Anita Desiju's family and her coffee farm colleagues. The 43-year-old mother led 18 coffee farmers in Bermanleu, Saburia village, Aileu municipality. They often come together and spend hours out on the farm, cleaning weeds and cutting old coffee trees.
The coffee trees, when we don't rehabilitate them, they grow very high and are no longer productive. So we cut them down and let them grow new branches. And it's easy for us women to pick the cherries.
In 2022, Miss Anita and her colleagues were introduced to coffee rehabilitation through a massive government initiative aimed at reviving local farms.
The rehabilitated trees produce more cherries. Compared to the unrehabilitated ones, they only produce few cherries per season. Those rehabilitated trees grow new branches that produce lots of cherries.
Once rehabilitated, the new branches take 2 years to produce their first crop of cherries.
The duration for the rehabilitated trees to produce fruits is 2 years. It's also important to plant new seedlings because the stumped branches remain productive for 5 years, then their production starts to decline.
Miss Anita and her husband inherited their 5-hectare coffee farm from her husband's parents.
As farmers, we always work side by side because our coffee farm is large. So both of us need to work on the farm. She doesn't just stay at home and take care of the family.
Most of the old coffee trees they inherited were rehabilitated in 2022. The Timorese government provided incentives for coffee farms who took part in its rehabilitation initiative. Miss Anita and her group of farmers received government incentives as their farms undertook major stumping and pruning. Farmers told RTTL that besides aging coffee trees, unpredictable weather and pests have caused their crop yields to drop significantly.
This year, coffee production fell sharply and cherry quality was also poor due to pest infestation. From 1 hectare of coffee farm, we could barely harvest a single sack of cherries.
Last year, most of our cherries were of good quality, with only 1 or 2 damaged by pests. But this year, the aging trees stopped producing fruits, and most of the cherries were infested.
Farmers also highlighted a lack of proper equipment to process first coffee cherries.
We only have a manual machine to peel off the red skin. Processing just 1 sack of cherries takes an entire day. During harvest time, we pay workers to pick the fruit, but delays in peeling can cause many of the fresh cherries to spoil.
These farmers do not use chemical fertilizers or synthetic pesticides. Instead, they rely on fallen-set tree leaves, compost, and natural soil processes. The natural cultivation gives Timorese coffee its distinct character. Timor-Leste has potential to expand its coffee farming in highland areas like Eleu, Ainaru, Ermera, and Likisa.
We still have roughly 2,993 hectares of uncultivated land in Eleu suitable for coffee farming. In some parts of this land, we are currently planting shade trees, so we can introduce young coffee seedlings once the canopy matures.
Last year, the Aileu municipality produced 375 tons of coffee. The local government is working with development partners to support coffee farmers and expand the coffee industry.
There are programs that we have to guide our local farmers. One is through coffee rehabilitation. Another is to encourage them to plant new seedlings. We also have cooperation with the Institute Camões to grow seedlings here in Aileu at Quinta, Portugal. And the Ministry of Agriculture also grows seedlings to distribute to the community.
The government and its development partners have set a target to increase coffee export value by 270% by 2030. For Timor-Leste's coffee farmers like Anita, her husband, and colleagues, reaching those ambitious targets will depend on turning government promises into real support on the ground. Pauline Quintown, Judas Magno, RTTL World News.
The Dili International Marathon attracted large crowds last weekend. The event brought together around 4,000 professional and amateur athletes from Timor-Leste and across the region. To mark the occasion, the President's office hosted a 3-day fair ahead of race day. RTTL World News spoke with local vendors to see how the event impacted their businesses.
Beyond the competing athletes, local food vendors and artisans are winning at the Dili International Marathon this year. For 3 days, hundreds of Timorese vendors sold food and handcrafts at the Presidential Palace in Dili.
Last night there was a big sale. I sold katupa and made $26 and another $40 for satay.
I just earned $100 a few minutes ago.
For local vendors and young artisans, the fair also provided a much-needed boost in visibility.
We just brought a few products for promotion. We sold some, but the visibility will bring us more customers in the future.
The challenge for us was the difficulty in showcasing our products to customers. But through this exhibition, we can showcase our products. And that, as students, we can show that we are also creative.
The exhibition to our young generation is very important because we can share our activity, our creation about our ability.
The Timorese government and President Office spent over $400,000 for the Dili International Marathon.
The circulation of money within our country. Timorese and foreign nationals who come and buy food and souvenirs is the immediate impact. But there is also a long-term impact for foreign visitors who can return to visit Timor-Leste because they know Timor is peaceful and they can come and go safely.
As the marathon runners cross the finish line, local vendors hope the success of this year's fair will lead to even bigger opportunities in the years to come. Vicky Madeira, Basti Noronha, RTTL World News.
Every year, athletes from around the world gather in Dili to participate in the Dili International Marathon. This competition is certified by World Athletics. This year's event, themed Love Our Forest and Wildlife, featured 4 categories: a full marathon, a half marathon, a 10-kilometer general category, a 10-kilometer para athletes race, and a 3-kilometer fun run.
Raising the flag, and the race begins. Thousands of footsteps were heard running through the still dark and the silent city of Dili. The sweat and spirit of unity fueled the athletes' ambitions to be the best. Runners welcomed the morning sun in Dili city at Kristure, one of the most iconic tourist spots in Dili.
But I live in Australia, so moving here, like temperature is different, so it's a bit of humid. If you start earlier, like 5 o'clock, or a little bit earlier would be much better to run. Yeah, but you see the road is fantastic, and then the water, then stations everywhere. It's very good experience to be here.
For Michael Lay, former Australian peacekeeper in Timor-Leste, the Dili Marathon is more than just an event.
It's really good cause. Participation, the local people are very supportive. It's really cool. It reminds me being back here when I was a soldier.
In the very competitive 42-kilometer full marathon, male and female Chinese athletes took first place in the men's and women's division.
It's my first time being here. In the Dili Marathon, my main task is to achieve a better position or better ranking.
This is a good competition. The view is good. It's not too difficult. It's a normal race.
Followed by Timor-Leste's Angela De Rosu in second place in the women's category in a full marathon.
As an athlete, I feel happy and continue to train hard for my best achievement.
Meanwhile, Juanito Fernandez from Timor-Leste was in third position in the international class and took first place in the national category.
Last year, I became the winner with a time of 2 hours 37 minutes. Now, I finished in just 2 hours 32 minutes. I managed to reduce my time by 5 minutes, so I feel proud.
Paralympic runner Teofilo Freitas continues to show his prowess in the 10-kilometer event.
I am happy that until now, no one has broken my record to take my position as the winner in the Dili International Marathon held in Timor-Leste, even though I am no longer young.
The Dili Marathon is expected to boost tourism in Timor-Leste through sports.
Timor-Leste has the capacity to host an event in this magnitude. Secondly, the country is at peace. And thirdly, it boasts beautiful scenery, which will attract tourists. This equates to promoting not only sports, but also tourism through sports.
The Dili Marathon aims to protect Timor-Leste's forests and wildlife while promoting tourism and enhancing Timor-Leste's image regionally and internationally. Tegeres, Sonia Madeira, RTTL World News.
In international news, there are concerns about a spike in iron deficiency in young children, with one expert labeling it a hidden health crisis. It comes as an expert reveals that while extremely rare, drinking too much cow's milk contributed to the deaths of 3 Queensland children in the past 2 years.
This is Daddy's favorite color.
Hope Castillo is your typical 5-year-old who loves colouring and playing with her friends. But as a toddler, she was low in iron, which affected her energy levels.
We find her have low appetite. She's very timid.
Hope was put on an iron supplement and her parents were told to decrease her cow's milk intake.
Apparently, it affects her absorption of iron.
Health experts say children under 5 should not consume more than 2 cups of milk a day because it prevents their ability to absorb iron.
There have been 3 toddlers who have died in Queensland in the last 2 years, and their deaths were contributed to an excess of cow's milk. That is, they were drinking more than 1 litre of cow's milk per day. One small virus can unfortunately be life-threatening when you've got a chronic anaemic state.
Queensland Children's Hospital data shows the number of children with severe iron deficiency anemia who presented to its emergency department more than doubled in 5 years.
One of the theories we have is that cost of living pressures might have increased our rates, given that the cost of cow's milk is roughly $1 per litre.
On the other side of the country, an ongoing study of about 10,000 Perth women and their babies found that by 3 years of age, 56% of children had low iron, roughly 20% had very low iron, and 2.6% had severe iron deficiency anemia.
It's a hidden health crisis, because, you need to do the blood test to pick this up.
The good news is this is an entirely preventable condition.
Home-cooked meals, prioritise red meat for children where possible, and reduce cow's milk.
A new study from our West Australian hospital shows there has been a significant decline in e-scooter injury presentations to its emergency department after the city of Perth suspended the hire of ridables.
When Father Tan Phan was struck in Perth CBD by a drunk driver of an e-scooter and killed, the city's council was quick to take action. It suspended rideshare e-scooters indefinitely and other local governments followed suit. Now a study from Royal Perth Hospital has examined e-scooter injury presentations following the ban, revealing a sharp decline. In the 12 weeks before rideshare e-scooters were banned, 105 people presented to the hospital's emergency department with e-scooter injuries. 8 of those injuries were categorised as major trauma. 12 weeks after the ban, just 39 people presented to the ED, with 4 considered major trauma.
I think it's great food for thought in terms of what kinds of regulations or limits or controls we could put in place in the future so that we can try and reduce unnecessary or avoidable injury for people using e-ridables.
While Royal Perth Hospital did not want to comment, the study's authors noted their research provided valuable data for hospital planning and city governance, noting that local regulations can rapidly influence the burden of e-scooter injuries presenting to the hospital. Last year's state parliamentary inquiry into e-ridables highlighted a lack of injury data, and its chair hopes the study will prompt the government to act more swiftly.
This just adds further fuel or further information for our committee to just keep the pressure on the government and make sure that the work we did as a committee is actually followed through.
Dr Claydon says the research makes the risks clear to all.
We're seeing significant injury, spinal injury and brain injury, and sometimes really catastrophic injury that permanently impacts someone's life or well-being.
A state government spokesperson says it's implementing supported recommendations in Parliament's Ride Safe report, but didn't want to respond directly to the RPH study.
And now tomorrow's weather, starting with Dili. Sunny and pleasant with a top temperature of 32 and a low of 21 degrees. Mostly sunny in Bokau, temperatures ranging between 30 and 18 degrees. Partly sunny in Lautem with a high of 28 and a low of 20 degrees. Partly sunny in Bawonaro with a high of 29 and a low of 14. And mostly sunny in Aileu, temperatures ranging between 27 and 13. Now looking abroad, mostly cloudy in Kupang, a high of 32 and a low of 21. In Bali, times of sun and cloud, temperatures ranging between 30 and 23. Hazy sunshine in Jakarta, a top of 34 and a low of 24. Mostly cloudy and very warm, rain and drizzle in the afternoon in Seoul, a high of 33 and a low of 25 degrees. Mostly cloudy and less humid in Darwin, temperatures ranging between 34 and 21 degrees. Plenty of sunshine in Sydney, a high of 20 and a low of 11 degrees. In Lisbon, mostly sunny, breezy at times in the afternoon, temperatures ranging between 30 and 21 degrees. In London, very warm with sunshine, some clouds, a top of temperature of 31 and a low of 19. And touch of morning rain in Belfast, otherwise mostly cloudy, a top temperature of 20 and a low of 12 degrees. Thanks for joining us again on the program. RTTL World News will be back with more stories on Sunday. Bye for now.